have to be considered the favorite going into this.
I think serving in general is going to play a big factor. All these guys jump serve, they all bomb, and I think whoever's going to be on, whoever gets out early, 1 game to 15, that's going to make the difference.
Roberto, his best finish last week, a third in Cincinnati, along with Franco. We're ready to go and underway. The pound off the block and a side out to Emmanuel and Loiola. We mentioned that Emmanuel and Loiola have played together. They have won together, but they have not won on the AVP tour before as a team, so they're looking for their first title. Emmanuel just 24 years of age. That's scary, because of his incredible talent in the pound there by Roberto.
Billy, Emmanuel's 24 years old, but volleyball years, he's about 34. The guy's been playing since he's been about 16. That's when I first saw him down in Rio de Janeiro, and he was great as a youngster. You knew he was going to do nothing but get better, put on a little weight. He's actually was thinner than he is now, and I think he's going to continue to get better.
Can't see how that's possible.
That's the scary thought.
Up over, a good stretch out that time by Franco, a pair of 31-year-olds teaming up. And now, you know him. He's been around for a couple of years and been dominant. Jose Loiola, the ripe old age of 28, 6'4", and a svelte 195. Already half a dozen very productive and stellar years as a pro on the beach.
Hard to believe Loiola's the old man of that team.
Still 3 years younger than the man about to hit right there. Good little touch, up and over the block. So a side-out start for these two teams. Mention, if you're just joining us, Cleveland, Ohio, for many, many, many years. This has been a favorite stop on the AVP tour. A lot of memorable moments here in Cleveland.
Great sports town in general. Just the people are so into all sports.
You know, and it's funny, when you mention to folks back home, both MD and I, of course, from Southern California, there's a great dig. Great dig and a chance. Bang down the middle. That's a good set, too. Forget about the dig. It's a brilliant set also.
Billy Mack, as usual, you're right on the money. Fantastic dig by Lopes, but the ball was 50 feet flying in the air, spinning, and Franco took that ball, set it back over his head, 5-0, and it's really the set that makes the big difference in this play. You see the dig, it's up there, it's spinning. Franco gets under, he gets set, gives his partner a great set, and that's really what led to the point. Not so much the dig, but the great set following it.
Our first point, and it's 1-0. Franco and Roberto. Just to finish the thought, Cleveland, this town is, as we had talked about a little bit in the semifinal, has just turned itself around over the last half dozen, maybe 10 years, and what a great place to come and visit and hang. We enjoy it. Big left-handed pound, but Emmanuel is there to read him like a comic book. Again, though, up and over. No, Emmanuel's tall, but he's not that big. And down it goes.
Lopes with the cover and the nice loopy shot to retain the side out. I tell you, these teams, both from Brazil, they know each other well. There's not going to be a lot of feeling each other out. They've played against each other a ton on the FIVB tour. They know each other's games, and I think there's just going to be some great volleyball.
Franco and Roberto, they started ranked 71st at the beginning of the year. That went into the net. They have worked their way to a 22nd ranking as Franco, along with Roberto. So they are nudging at the top 20.
Billy, you can mark that down. It doesn't happen every day that Loiola is going to hit one ball in the middle of the net. He gets up so high, he reaches so well. Just a good jump serve by Franco, throwing the guys off right now.
Reason why Loiola hit it in, any specific? Besides just a physical mistake?
Just a mental mistake.
Yeah.
You drop your arm, you see the net's wide open, he wanted to just rip it, he drops his arm, and that's when you end up hitting the ball in the net.
Here we go. Now working on the court, getting set for his jumper, Jose Loiola. 94 degrees at game time, and the sun baking down on us.
Not a lot of wind right now, so you're going to see the guys going for those jump serves. They're going to try to do anything to get each other in trouble.
Which means it could be a quick game. If they get going with the serves, there could be some quick points. Loiola up and over and down. And it'll be a side out again, and Emmanuel will have his turn. Ready to serve the pills.
You see Roberto on this side out. He gets a good jump defensively on Loiola's shot, but Loiola's hitting it so high that he doesn't have to loop it over the block. He hits over and down.
Emmanuel, once again, Roberto. who at a couple of inches smaller figures to get the majority of the serves. Oh, what a block by Franco! Put it right back down.
Franco did that a couple times in the semifinal play too. Big blocks for side outs. And those are the type of plays that when you look back and you've won the match, you say they had great point opportunities like right here. Instead, Franco reaches over, stuffs the ball, and Loiola and Emmanuel frustrated that they don't get to convert on the point opportunity.
Good serve. Loiola saves with the one hand, so they'll get a free ball over. A great chance for a point, hitting it on two, but Emmanuel makes the save. Boy, if they can get a side out of this, but they don't as he waffles it long. Oh, they had an opportunity to save it there.
Great digs both ways. Emmanuel just chicken winging that ball up in the air. Loiola with a pretty good set. It's just Emmanuel can't cuff this ball to the deep middle. Sails a little bit on him out of bounds. Got the makings of a great match here.
Yeah, some exciting.
Franco Roberto off to a great start. Excuse me, Bill.
No. It's some sensational rallies already. The athleticism to the forefront. That's an overset. And Emmanuel can't save it. So, again, a mental physical error that time. Tell you what, Franco and Roberto, this is a great start for them. This is exactly what they need.
And exactly what they want to do is when Jose and Emmanuel make the mistakes, you've got to transition and get those point opportunities when they present themselves.
11 years as a professional volleyball player, Franco. Emmanuel took a little off of that. Nice pace.
Again, you see Roberto right kneeled down in the middle of the court. He had a great jump on that ball. It's just that Loiola and Emmanuel get such good reach on the ball that their shots aren't really loopy shots like you're used to. They're actually like little spikes, just over the block and then straight down.
0 serving 4. So down by 4 in the early going, Jose Loiola. The scoreboard here says 0-2, but that is not right. You've got it right at 4-0. Loiola, chance right here again. Incredible coverage. Off the net, can he get there? No.
And Loiola and Emmanuel did what they had to do. Got themselves going. Couple good plays in transition. They got the 1 point for the side change, 4-1, and they're back in the ballgame.
We shall take our first turn of our final. Glad you're with us from Cleveland. We think we've got a great match in store. Already it is. See you in a minute. Pro Beach Volleyball around the country. Next week, Chicago. Then back to Southern California in Seal Beach. Belmar in New Jersey and Minneapolis at the end of the month. Some great volleyball coming your way. Hope you join us on the Pro Beach Volleyball AVP Tour. 4-1. Surprised?
Definitely. Franco and Roberto, they're the underdogs coming into this match, and they bounced out with a lot of aggressive, great defense, and they're in great position this match.
Trying to cut it in half, though. And they do. Loiola and Emmanuel. Hey, Mike, Don, talk about the Brazilian resurgence or the impact that they are having. Besides these 4, there's at least a couple of more out on tour.
It's been unbelievable this year. Our first event in Tucson actually was the only final we've had this year that was an all-American final with Karch Karai and Adam Johnson and Dane Blanton and Eric Fenoy-Moana. Every other tournament, you've had at least one Brazilian player in the final.
Big hit. By the way, some heavy hearts around the AVP Tour this year because of Eric Fenoy-Moana.
Most definitely. His father lost his hard-fought and long battle to cancer this week. Eric stayed at home for the funeral. Our hearts go out to Eric and the Fenoy-Moana family. Great man, great member of the Manhattan community, and we wish everyone in that family well, and life moves on.
Right here it is 4-2. Loiola. Bam. The big pound.
Big pound for Jose.
And now it is Emmanuel's turn. 1-2 tournaments this year. San Antonio and Corpus Christi. Lunges as he digs hard in the sand.
Emmanuel laying out defensively on that play. Just another good shot by Franco.
Mike, talk about the conditions sand-wise. They change so often. Man-made, then we go to the beach and it's a little deeper, harder. How about the pack on this sand here at the Nautica Center?
The sand's perfect. The AVP is getting better and better each year at court construction on non-natural beach sites, and this sand is perfect. It's deep. And it's clean. The players are playing great, and it's perfect playing condition.
That's a great set. That's another great set after some good defensive position by both squads.
And if there's one thing that Loiola's really improved on this year, not that he had a lot to improve on, but his anticipation. He moves for shots so much better this year than he has in the past. I think it's due to the fact that with Kent and now with Emmanuel, they switch off on the blocking duties. Loiola's not blocking every play.
Loyola 6 tournaments this year with Kent Steffes. They won 5. And you sit there and you say you win 5 out of 6, and then you drop the partnership. It happens as they get set for the Olympics in the future, these two Brazilians. Now Roberto will serve. Roberto Lopes, Franco Neto.
That's a nice play by Emmanuel, stepping into that middle where so many teams have problems communicating, taking that pass. He just gets better and better on the right-hand side. Here you're going to see him. He steps in, takes that middle jump serve, and then sides out with the best of him. He just continues to improve on the right side.
Yeah, no amount of games played can help you sometimes in that middle play. I mean, you and Hav and St. John and Randy, even they had problems in the middle after playing for dozens of years together. Another good play.
We were speaking earlier, Billy, about the Brazilian impact. Outside of Tucson, here you see a good side out for Franco. You've had Brazilians in every final. Loiola, Emmanuel, Gomez, Agino, now Franco Roberto. But this is the first weekend that we've got the all-Brazilian final.
And it coincides with the World Cup.
And telling you, in the player tent, it did not sit well with the AVP players. They don't like seeing an all-Brazilian final. You know, you think about the weekends coming up. You got some big tournaments, Chicago, Belmar, Seal Beach. I think the Americans have taken notice, and they're going to have to step up their game a little bit and try to keep the Brazilians from making it another Brazilian party next weekend.
Could be. That's a good bump right off the net. Loiola stressing some defense. That's going to be a tight one. Blocked! That was trouble from the beginning as Emmanuel put Loiola right there at the net and low. Good play, though, defensively, to block it over.
Great defense by Loiola. Here's Emmanuel just setting the ball too tight. Jose without a swing at the ball, and Franco doing what you got to do. Block in transition to save point opportunities.
Roberto with the serve. Perfect pass. Set. Swing. Execution. Rating a 10 for Loiola and Emmanuel. 5 minutes on our swatch clock. Of course, we are being timed 1-15. This was a single elimination tournament. You would imagine, if you follow volleyball, that we would have been going 2 out of 3. But because of the rain stoppages, as we mentioned, 4 separate weather delays yesterday, that brought the semifinals and the final 1-15 in the single elim.
Both teams are really starting to settle into their rhythm. A lot of good siding out right now. Great defensive plays, scrambling plays. This match has it all so far.
Given your druthers, Mike, I know obviously everybody would like to have a second chance with double elimination. Your thought, though, on the single elim versus double elim. That one's tight again. Boy, I tell you what, Emmanuel is sending Loiola right there on the net, and it might cost him later on.
I think it's a double-edged sword, really. I mean, when you have double elimination, the top-ranked teams, your marquee players, the Karais, the Johnsons, the Loyolas, the Steffeses, they have a better chance to make it back to the finals because they have to lose twice. What I like about single elimination is that an upset really counts for something. And you get to see different players in the final.
Absolutely. Bring some new faces into play, into the television, too.
And, you know, it's a tough tour out there. And the players that are really trying hard to work their way up the ranks, to me, it's a nice way to reward them, that their upset, that their fine play early in the tournament really counts for something when they can work themselves into the final.
That one sails long. 4-2 is our score under sunny skies and hot, humid conditions. Once again, good folks in Chicago, get set. We're coming your way next week. 4th of July weekend. Bring out your fireworks, vocally, that is, for the AVP. That one down the middle and backpedaling. Tough up that time, one-handed by Emmanuel. Smart shot that time.
Loiola Emmanuel serving exclusively to Roberto Lopes right now. And you see on this play, ball ticking the top of the net, starting to show a little bit of signs of fatigue. He's the shortest guy on the court out there. He's getting a lot of serves. You want to keep an eye on his legs.
Loiola, the long, loping, easy strides, and then finding some open real estate towards the back. So right now, the comfort zone, the side-out situation for both these teams, as we finally settled in after a frantic beginning that saw Franco and Roberto jump out on top 4-0. Now Franco will get a serve. Let's see if he gets a swing. Well, he'll have to poke it to the back, and it finds tape. It is 4-2 in our tour. Bill McDonald, Mike Dodd. As always, hope you're enjoying it here on a Sunday. Coast to coast on Fox Sports Net. Side out. Was that a point?
Another unforced error for Loiola. The pressure was on. Roberto made a good break to his line. Loiola knew he had to make a perfect shot and knocked it out of bounds. And when you're playing good defense, when you're making the breaks and anticipating well, it puts even more pressure on the offensive team. Yeah, and that's a gimme point, really. Oh, great serve, ace! Roberto gives his right arm a little bit of a kiss after that jump serve howitzer. This thing was nothing but pure heat. Emmanuel just trying to get out of the way so he didn't embarrass himself trying to pass it. And the showman out there on the court, Franco for their team, and Loiola always plays to the crowd, and Franco tried to get the crowd on their side. First ace of the match that time as Roberto served it up. And Jose and Emmanuel are saying, let's stop this right now. Let's take a timeout and try to cool things down. That's what they're trying to do now. It is 6-2. Roberto and Franco. Our Swatch Sand timeout. Time for us to catch our breath. And once again, pump the AVP. Chicago, then Seal Beach. That'll be fun going back to Seal Beach. It always seems like it's been forever since we get back to Southern California, where it all started. And you got to love Seal Beach. Great fans, great beach, great place to play volleyball. So all you folks at Fox Sports West, see out there, Seal Beach. Center stage at the Nautica Center. 6-2 in our final. A shocker so far. Loiola. That's a cannon. That was not only a cannon, but an outstanding pass by Jose. Roberto Lopes is really feeling it back there in the jump serve. He's just ripping the ball right now and hitting some tough serves. Keeping Emmanuel and Loiola in the defensive position receiving serve. Well, you called it, Mike. I said that Franco's got the tough serve, but it's Roberto out there who's just letting things fly. Now from off the net, chance for a dig, off the block. Good hustle, Emmanuel. It's low, Loiola, the dig! Oh, great touch! And Emmanuel just hustling and put it where Loiola could do something with it. And earlier in the match, you saw Franco in a trouble play with a great loopy shot deep. Here, Jose Loiola takes the scramble play with a soft little dink shot. He's going to get the soft block here. Emmanuel with great scrambling defense behind him. And Loiola, watch this, just a little bit of dink over the net and down. And now in a serve by Emmanuel Rego. And quickly, will change sides. So they get back to 6-4 and right back in this thing. Jimmy, every week. Jimmy the Tank Rico, Marvin Hall, James the Master from Honda, getting the crowd pumped up, getting jiggy with it. The place to party every week, the AVP. Fox Sports Net is going deep, taking you past the headlines and inside the biggest stories for an insight you just can't get anywhere else. Join Joe Buck for Going Deep, Sundays at 9 on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. Well, if we weren't pumped before, we certainly are now. The sport of the summer, pro beach volleyball, coast to coast on Fox Sports Net. Emmanuel and Loiola, couple in a row to get back to within 2 here in our final. We're going to 15. Right now, the Swatch clock at 4. And I'll tell you what, the way these two teams can side out, that could come into play. Digging! Not there. Great spot. Great anticipation, and those are the type of plays where you're forcing your opponent to make their very best shot. Roberto had to hit that just in the deep corner, just on the sideline to get it out of Emmanuel's reach. And when you're putting that kind of pressure defensively on the opponents, sooner or later, they're going to start missing those shots, knowing that they have to come up with the perfect shot every time.
Franco, this will be his best finish of the year. Trying to cash in with some big money. Block. Good coverage. Another touch.
Shot off the top of the block.
You know, MD, you talked about it, anticipation, and it is so evident in this match, something that you yourself live for. I mean, you just have to take a chance sometimes and know your opponent and read them.
You have to take it all the time, Billy. I mean, people don't realize a lot of times, A, you're playing on sand, which is a more difficult surface to play in, and B, you're playing on a court that was designed for 6 players to play on.
Right, bam! Right down. Emmanuel. Here they come. 5-6.
Great serve by Jose to get this going. And Emmanuel just taking a little bit of advantage of Roberto Lopes up there at the net.
Jose ready to let fly. Ooh, curve. Almost found the tape. Good eye that time by Franco, letting it go. Roberto will serve.
Doing a little court manicuring back there for his launch pad on the jump serve. If you're Loiola and Emmanuel right now, you got to be happy. You were down 4-1, 6-2. Now you're back. You're almost tied up at 6-5.
And off the block. You know, this team of Franco and Roberto on the FIVB tour, they were dominant. The top team from 94 to 96. But now they're with the big boys.
That's what happens. A lot of people don't realize. They go, well, who is this new team from? They're not a new team. They've been one of the best teams on the international tour for the last 10 years.
Just trying to educate the crowd here in the U.S. of A. on these great players.
There's a great side out for Roberto, yeah. Emmanuel, the last 2 years, has been the man on the FIVB tour with his partner Zamarco, who's still playing on that tour. But before that, the 3 years before that, it was Franco and Roberto Lopes, #1 seed, winning the tourneys, winning the money. And like I said, they've been great players for a long time. And Franco just missed that ball.
And I mean just missed it. We almost had a McEnroe tennis situation here, but everything okay.
I think we do, because they're calling it good. And
now
Jose's about ready to blow a gasket out there.
Do a Johnny Mac.
Not too much argument. I think that ball must have clipped the line.
Call it good. Second ace for Roberto and Franco. Loiola, cross the body, got it. Side out. Now the intensity picks up a little bit. And maybe that call will fire up Loiola.
Well, if it's anything by this side out, Loiola just up and delivering deep middle.
Yeah,
he plays better when he gets mad. He's one of the few guys. Randy Stoklos was the same way. Tim Hovland also.
Yeah, I see the blood start to boil a little bit. Loiola after.
Yeah, a lot of players get mad and they yell at the refs and they lose their concentration. They play worse. You know, some of the better players, your Stokloses, your Hovlands, they could scream at the ref, and as their blood would boil, their concentration would become that much more intense, and they'd actually play better.
Hob didn't get good till the shirt came off.
Till the shirt got ripped off.
Tight. Using the equipment, being in the hands of the block.
And Billy, you said it all right there. One thing that Loiola and Manuel have over the other teams on the tour, they can set each other tight, and they jump so well, and they have such good arms that you'll see Emmanuel, even though this is a trap set for 90% of the players, Emmanuel can go up and just bang it off the blocker's arms.
That one is just out. And anybody who has watched volleyball for any length of time knows about hitters using the block. But if you're watching volleyball for the first time, that is an art in itself, knowing how to use the block when it's up there to get your advantage.
And it's one thing to use the block on a perfect set, Billy. That's easy. A lot of good players can do that. But what Loiola and Emmanuel do is when the ball's really tight and it's a situation where other teams are going to give up a point and get stuff blocked, they can bang it off the block and still use their legs, their great jumping ability and arm swings to get out of trouble.
Good court coverage. One more time. We've been seeing a lot of this.
This is, again, great anticipation by Roberto Lopes. He just gets a hand on the ball, but that's kind of the set that Loiola likes. He says a little bit higher, a little closer to the net next time so I can really bomb.
That had some extra smoke on it. Franco says, how about my partner, the little toy cannon?
That's right, the smallest guy in the corner. And if it wasn't for the Coppertone Sport balloon over there, that ball would have headed out into the river.
Right into the mighty Cuyahoga.
Just a great side out. Those are those kind of balls that you hit the little wedge in the sand and the ball boing straight up in the air, and you're feeling like Henry Bergman from the old days.
You know, we have seen, I like that. We have seen some methodical finals in the past, but this one is fun. A lot of entertainment. Each side now getting their chance to go bombs away.
Well, it's another good thing, Billy, for the value of single elimination. Why is this final so great, even though it's over 90, incredible humidity, is that these players are both undefeated, these teams, and they're well rested coming into the final, and you can see it in their energy level.
Plus, it's grudge mode. The countrymen.
So many double elimination finals. You see one team fresh as a daisy coming out 20 minutes before the final, warming up, banging balls, and the team coming out of loser's bracket with their tongues dragging on the sand coming out about 5 minutes before the match starts, hit a couple balls, and they more often than not just wouldn't have enough energy to compete with the winner's bracket winning team.
Here's a little change-up serve, and it works. But Loiola gets it in. What was that change-up and a little serve that time?
I tell you, Franco has this little loopy float jump serve that he breaks out. He was using it against Adam and Karch in the semi. Got Adam Johnson in trouble 5 or 6 times with this loopy, floaty jump serve. And this is just Emmanuel with a great bump set over his head to save the side out.
Like a pitcher with the different deliveries. Fooled the batter. Pokey! Loyola's got it. And they back off. Franco with a chance. Left hand, cover, got to get up. That's a great up! Sensational up! So that best rally of the match.
Great shot of the crowd here in Cleveland, just going nuts. They appreciate the ball control, the athleticism. The guys are tired. Each ball is taping off the tip of the net, Billy, but they're making great one-arm stabs. And in the end, it's Franco just going into the net, giving Loiola the point.
1 point separates these two teams. Loiola Emmanuel, they're not there yet, but they've been chipping away at that lead.
And you knew Franco was going to go for a sand timeout. That rally went 4 or 5 times back and forth. Players sucking a little gas, and it's the type of time in the match. 6-7. Franco Roberto, you've got in your arsenal to keep this match close. Because when you're playing a team as great as Loiola and Manuel, you just want to get to the end of the match where you can really put the pressure on.
Tell me about some Chicago memories, Mike Dodd. July 3rd through 5th, call Ticketmaster. I suggest you do it now. 312-559-1212. That place is going to be flowing with folks. Miller Lite Open at Chicago coming up next weekend. Come say hello.
Billy Mack, North Avenue Beach in Chicago. It has developed into, I'd say, one of the 3 best AVP events of the year. You have Hermosa, and North Avenue Beach in Chicago is right there.
Loiola out. Now what about the clock? It's almost down to 2 minutes. And we're only at 7-6.
Well, that's what happens when you have a lot of great ball control and a lot of good siding out. You're not going to get to the 15 points, but with the clock, it's going to add the pressure. As the clock ticks down and it's a 1 point, a tie game, the pressure will continue to mount, and each side out becomes a premium.
The rally clap emanating throughout the stands here at the Nautica Center. Service error. And again, trying to get even at 7. Emmanuel.
This is what happens, Billy, when there's just not a stitch of wind. The players don't have that wind to use the ball, use their jump serve to get the easy points, and hence a lot of side outs.
No good side, bad side. You want to be serving and hitting into the wind. There is another big kiss and a kill. Slapping it down. Franco Neto. Trains in the South Bay.
Match here. Finals of 1998 Miller Lite Open in Cleveland. 7-6.
Those 2 camps out on tour, the Orange County guys, and then you've got your South Bayers. first one. Loiola.
Strike by Jose Loiola. Cross court. And Loiola.
Again, another great one-arm stab by Roberto Lopes defensively. Loiola just hovering at the net. Great play by him to control the joust. Here's the one-arm stab by Roberto. Franco sets him a little tight, and Loiola controls that joust onto his side of the court and gets the side out and comes back and serves an ace.
And as we come back, aces, wild. And we're tied at 7. No way that time. There was a low bump. And I think the past success of Roberto gave him a false sense of security that time. He thought he could pound right through the block. Not so. Emmanuel was there. We're back to talk about it. It's 8-7. Loyola and Emmanuel have the lead as we take the turn. Here in Cleveland, 8-7. Emmanuel and Loyola have the lead back at Cleveland. The Wilson qualifying series continues the 1st and 2nd of July in Chicago. For more information, contact All Volleyball. That's All Volleyball at 214-744-0707. Mike Dodd, they finally get a block, and it pays off for a lead.
Well, they've been having some great defensive play, some great jump serving. Now you throw in the blocking of Emmanuel and Loyola. And Franco and Roberto have got to hitch up their bootstraps here a little bit and try to score some points.
Biggest portion of the match, trying to stay close as the clock ticks down. You don't want them getting them in bunches and a little...
And Loyola wants to Ronaldo that ball and kick it over the river. That was an easy play for him, one that he would rarely miss. And what a great layout by Roberto Lopes. He passes that ball one arm, comes back, and there you see Loyola just missing that easy defensive play. He's not going to do that very often.
Yeah, that's not a shank, that's a muff. Break
for Roberto Lopes. And sometimes you need a couple breaks if you're gonna win your first Open on the AVP Tour. That was a great pass, and then the break by the poor concentration of Loyola on the defense.
Statistically, very even match. Loyola, high and right at the apex. The kill.
Now Loyola's holding his breath for a second. Emmanuel came down. Didn't pop right back up, but he looks okay.
He had to lean back for this.
Now watch this ball. This ball's off the net, inside. Emmanuel just up, snaps, the ball goes down, and then he kind of twists himself a little bit in the sand, but he's okay.
Leading 8-7, great serve, another ace. Emmanuel. No chance.
Just a little more than okay, I guess. He comes up and serves an ace. Takes a little bit off it and just cups it up in front of Roberto Lopes.
And the problem for Franco and Roberto is this. If they get down 3 or 4 points, the clock is at 1:28. Then just side outs will win it for Loyola and Emmanuel.
Exactly.
Big side out opportunity. And they'll get it. And now the serves that have paid off for both teams. We'll see if they can dial one up. In Franco.
Exactly. When you're up by 1 point either team or the match is tied, the clock really doesn't have a big factor. But when you're up by 2, then it starts to really play because a team can side out and end up winning the match.
Yeah, you go overtime if you're tied or down 1. If it expires. Emmanuel's got the power ball behind it now.
It's got the rhythm and the mojo flowing on the right side. More and more comfortable. And Loyola continues to improve his setting. This is just a perfect set. 3 to 4 feet off. Give Emmanuel plenty of room to see the court and swing.
Roberto, up and over, chance for a point, and to go up by 3, tight, miss set. And they might get a side out of it, and they do. Well, they're not going to get a better chance to go up 3.
And you could see the frustration in Loyola. It was just an easy opportunity for a point. He's got to go up and bang that ball. He tried to get a little cute with it, knuckling it over Franco. Roberto's right there to scoop it up. But Roberto is showing a little signs of fatigue. He ripped that ball down the middle. But his legs, he's a tired pup right now. Lots of serves, shortest guy in the court. Keep an eye on him. You know Loyola and Emmanuel are going to keep the ball on him.
You talk about getting breaks. You also have to take advantage. It's been afforded them right there. Oh, they both go down hard, and the call is going to go against Franco.
I think this is a poor call by referee Greg Krause. I mean, you saw Emmanuel, his stomach and his waist were in the net. That's a double net. That's got to be a replay. Watch this here, Billy.
And referee Greg Krause on the call.
They both hit the net. Now, when you have both players hitting the net, it's a double violation, and you should replay this ball.
Another player, that is an interference call.
Absolutely, both went in.
That is a double net. That is a huge break for Loyola and Emmanuel.
Franco went into it first, caught the eye of the official, and Emmanuel went right into it. You mentioned it's now 9-7, but they'll get the side out right back. And the crowd obviously leaning for the underdog a little bit right now. They want Roberto and Franco says, let's go.
Time to pump up the crowd a little bit. Franco's getting them going. And what a great crowd. These people in Cleveland, they're partiers, they have fun, they love their sports. And even though we don't have an American team in the final, it's two Brazilians, they're picking their sides and they're enjoying volleyball played at its highest level.
You know what you like the best? Those hot dogs they're serving over there in the shack. Cross courts. Is it out? It is. We're down to a point, and that's a huge point. We mentioned again, we're only at 51 seconds remaining, and you can't just run out the clock up by a point now.
You're right, Billy. That's what makes the point so huge, is we're off the 2-point advantage for Loyola and Emmanuel. Franco Roberto wants more. He's saying, give me a little more. We're emotional. We're Brazilians. We feed off our emotions. We need you to pump us through this. We're tired. Get us going.
I'm going to tell you right now, that if Loyola makes a great play, he will do the same thing to the crowd. That is exactly his personality.
And that's what
beach to be shown.
That's what beach volleyball is all about. Play to the crowd. Let them make you better players.
Take a timeout. We know you're not going anywhere. As Larry Sanders would say, no flipping. Temperature gets hotter, so does the volleyball. 9-8 in our final. And the Speedo AVP Juniors Tour hits the Jersey Shore with a visit to Belmont on the 18th and 19th of July. For registration and competition info, contact Melissa Gibson. She's the girl. 516-897-0214. Billy Mack, MD, and all of you and the Brazilian Four have afforded us and entertained us with maybe our best final of the year.
And Billy, you could sense it right at the start of the match. There was energy, there was great plays. You just had a feeling that this was going to go down to the wire.
Loyola, a chance, and down. Not only in body, but with volleyball.
Another perfect set by Emmanuel. Just enough off the net to give Loyola room to see the court and swing at the ball, and Loyola goes high, hard, and deep cross court.
Keeping one eye on the clock at 46-6. We've seen some long rallies that have taken off 6-7 seconds at a time. That one, though, quick. Get your work done and get the serve back. It's now 8-9.
Emmanuel with another drop off the net for Roberto Lopes. Loyola anticipating well on that deep middle hit. Again, not being able to control the dig.
Loyola and Emmanuel want a win so badly. One has been expected of them in the first couple of weeks. Franco and Roberto saying we can play on any tour. But that's a big mistake. I know you've got to go for it, but late and given the opposition a serve with only half a minute to play, you've got to kind of get it in.
And given the momentum and the defense that they're playing, you've got the crowd in your favor. They're chanting Brazil, Brazil. You keep that serve in and keep the pressure on.
Let them make the mistake at this point. Roberto. Well, Emmanuel and Loyola are just relentless, ruthless with their working of Roberto. As you mentioned, he's been a little tired, but they work a side out.
And as tired as Roberto is, he sees the clock, he sees 37 seconds. It's going to go beyond the clock. If Franco and Roberto are going to win, they're going to have to get 9, then go on and win by 2. But it's just a matter of how much energy you have left.
And Emmanuel puts it right down the middle. Every single service now is so important for Franco and Roberto. They cannot let an ace get by. Now, on the other thought, if you're Loyola and Emmanuel, you let fly. You want an ace here.
And you want to keep the ball on Roberto.
That's not a bad play, though. Loyola's got to go for it. If I'm them, I'm going for it. Disagree?
I disagree.
Okay. Well, and you're the guy. I mean, how many times did you play out there?
When you've got a team that's tired, And you've got the blocking and the physical abilities of Loiola and Emmanuel. You miss a serve like that, that's a free side out.
So
you serve that ball in, they've got to pass, they've got to hit, and they've got to put the ball away.
It goes both ways then. They both want to just let the other team get the mistake. And that was just about a fingernail away from a great block. What it turns into is another side out with 25.5 seconds remaining. 1-point game, championship final here in Cleveland.
Switching it up to Franco.
And they'll take that every time, and the touch. And the touch.
There's Franco again, giving it the twirl, saying, come on, pump me up.
Franco back to serve.
A serve away from a tie with 20.6.
Franco might go to that little float jump serve.
Franco, one of 5 children. His family, second service there in the last 3.
Well, Billy, you know me. I'm old school, and I say keep those serves in, keep the pressure on. But volleyball's changed so much. The jump serve is such an integral part of everyone's offensive strategy to score points, and players just go for it. Doesn't matter what time in the match it is.
Oh, here's an opportunity to go up by 2 with about 10 seconds left, and it took the hat right off the head. And Loiola says, now it's all me.
And Loiola with a 2-point advantage. What do you say, Cleveland?
Now the strategy has completely changed. You need to side out quickly and go for an ace because you've got just 10 seconds remaining. Couldn't have come at a better time for Loiola and Emmanuel.
Exactly. If you're Loiola, you want to serve a high float serve and make a defensive play. If you can make one defensive play, this match is over.
Got to be a quick down right now. Any kind of a rally, and it's over. You're at 4.7. And it's time, if you've got it in the bag, to let it out right here. Because if they don't get it right here, it's over. It's over. This is your one chance.
This is do or die. And again, it's back to the old question. Do you go for it for the serve, or do you keep it in and keep the pressure on? Because if you miss the serve, the match is over.
Yeah, one side out, and Loiola Emmanuel will win. It's right here. Because they'll just serve it up, and it's over. They go for it, and it's out. And that'll be it. Loiola and Emmanuel are going to win it with 3-5 remaining, unless somehow they can get it quickly.
Now, to me, Billy, that's just criminal. That's just, yeah, I know you want to go for it. I know you want to get an ace. But when you miss that serve, you give the other team the tournament. They gave these guys the tournament. They didn't, I mean, they earned it throughout their great play throughout the weekend.
It's over. It's over. As it expires on the hit. So it goes all the way down to the final second, and Loiola and Emmanuel have won on the AVP Tour for the first time.
So they take a second on the first AVP event, then a second in the FIVB last weekend in Toronto, and this week come back and take a first. 2 seconds and a first, that's not bad for a new team coming out of the block.
As they get set for the Olympics down the road, everyone in our final played brilliantly. We had a lot of fun. We're not done, though. 10-8, Emmanuel and Loiola, the champs.